Hey, what's up guys, you can Gypsy, and I'm back here today with some more ITL. Been pretty sick, so I haven't uploaded in a little while, but we are back with some Week 7 action from the ITL, and we're facing off against Nova. One of our divisional opponents, a guy we faced earlier on in the season. He's got the Magearna, so yeah, pretty broken team already, but he's opted to bring his Conch Elder to this game, which is one mon he didn't bring last game. And I think that's a very solid pick here. Really threatens like a bulky team if I do bring that, like a really fat team, just by virtue of its coverage, and it's just mad attack stat and potential for Flame Orb. He's picked up Mandibuzz this game, which he didn't have last time we played, so Mandy could play a pretty critical role in shutting down my slow fat mons with Taunt, and also just being a solid defensive pivot and check to stuff like Sizzle if it's fast and has foul play. So yeah, that's something to watch out for. But yeah, running over the team that I do have here, I've got a Curse Lax with like EQ return. Very solid, especially if I can remove the Conch, can just win on its own, barring Clear Smog or Taunt Toxic from the likes of Mandibuzz. It also functions as a nice Magearna check. We have a Toxic SD EQ Gliscor. Really just runs through his team if I can get an SD up and Toxic the Mandibuzz, because if I can Toxic Mandy, then I just roost on it all day. It wears itself down, it dies to Toxic, and I can just SD up and EQ through his team. Then we have an SD, I'm pretty sure this is like SD Sizz. Got U-Turn on this set. U-Turn in conjunction with the U-Turn from Coco is really important to bring in Darm safely, which I'm going to get into in a bit. Then we have a Life Orb Coco here, really nice versus this team. Pretty much Life Orb like gives Coco the breaking power to bop stuff like Conch Elder, Garchomp with Dazzling Gleam, Mandibuzz drops a T-Bolt, Magearna and Arcanine both get 2 KO by T-Bolt, so yeah, Life Orb really buffing up the power here. A Z-move wasn't really needed, as I felt like the damage output from Life Orb outweighed the positives of a Z-move here. So then we have Rock's Toad, just standard nice defensive Toad here, and then lastly we have Big Banded Dumb Manitan. So first time I'm bringing Darm, and you already know it's going to put in the work here, so going to jump into the game. He is going to lead off with his Conch Elder as I lead out with my Toad. I'm gonna get up my rocks here. Rocks are critical, and unless this Conch is like, actually I think I was creeping max speed Adamant Conch with my Toad here, so I should be able to get rocks off before any funny business from this Conch, as I am gonna get them up, and he does go for the knockoff. Now he's gonna crit me here, which is gonna come into play, but yeah, pretty unfortunate, because after a knockoff I would have been out of range of max attack Drain Punch into a Muck Punch, but he's going to remove my lefties here, which would have meant that I could get 2 hits off on this Conch, and he's going to reveal to be Flame Orb, which means he's a massive offensive threat, but certainly easier to take down than like a lefties or an Assault Vest variant set. So I'm just going to go for the EQ here, get some chip off versus this Conch, as he is going to go for the Drain Punch and get all that health back with the Drain Punch there. So very unfortunate. Had I not been crit there, I would have got an EQ into 2 EQs, so at least he was chipped a little bit, but after the Drain Punch recovery. But honestly, like, it's not the biggest deal, because I do have Coco who can just come in and drop him with Dazzling Gleam. If he doesn't expect Life Orb, he probably thinks he can live a hit, but yeah, we're packing that Life Orb, so he's going to drop here, and he's going to bring in his Mungus, and I'm going to U-turn out on that. He's going to go into Chomp, making the smart scout for Z Bravebird, which is a fair play. But I'd already shown to be, I'd already shown to be Life Orb, so I wasn't Z, but maybe he expected the Life Orb Bravebird there, which would have done a shit ton to this thing if it was Spidef. After Rocks, it actually has a solid chance of killing defensive Amoongus if he's like max Spidef and like no Fizz Def. And if I did have Volt Switch or something like that, and Garchomp would have blocked that if I had U-Turn, which I do have, he would have got a nice chip off on my Coco with his Garchomp's rough skin. And that is what's going to happen. I am going to U-Turn out, as I'm just going to bring in my Gliscor now, proc my Toxic Orb, which is going to be really nice, because now I don't have to fear knockoffs from Mandibuzz ruining that, or spores from Amoongus. Essentially getting my Toxic Orb activated is pretty much one of the most important things I have to do in this game. So right here, he is going to go for the Hidden Power Ice, and that does nothing. That bounces off Gliscor, as I am just going to fire for Toxic. And this is really nice, because Toxic caught him going into Mandy or staying in to get up rocks there, and because I've established that like he can't 2-KO me, certainly not after Poison Heal damage with the Hidden Power Ice, I am potentially expecting I'm potentially expecting a Z outrage here, as that would be able to kill my Gliscor from this range. And it also covers him staying, so I hide into Sizz expecting the Z outrage. It also covers any kind of switch he can make bar Arcanine, which is not a switch, into Gliscor. And this allows me to get my Mega off as well as getting a U-turn off, which is really nice. So my Sizzle's a pretty solid switch into Garchomp now that it's poisoned as well. So I'm going to go into Big Darm. The electric terrain is up. I don't have to fear getting slept. He's probably not sludge bombing there on my Scizor, especially after last game I'd shown my Gliscor to be a fantastic switch into this Amoonguss. So I felt like he was either going to be like he was likely there to just go for the hidden power fire, most of all because it hits Scizor, and he always has safe switches in to Scizor. Worst comes to worst, he's got Arcanine in the back, and had I switched hard out into Gliscor, then he would have been, like, anything he went for, he pretty much would have been screwed. So going Darm here was my play, 100%, as it puts me in a really solid spot to get a kill. I am just going to click the Flare Blitz button, and he's going to go hard out into his Arcanine, which is going to get the Intimidate drop off on me. But Big Darm still does 50, so yeah, Big Darmanitan does not care. And he's going to show lefties, he's slower than me, so Darm is going to outspeed and pop the Arcanine, which is really nice for my Scizor. So now the Scizor, his number one Scizor check is out. He only has Mandibuzz as a potential check to my Scizor, and that thing can get chipped pretty easily by the rest of my team. So I'm gonna switch out this turn. I do not kill Mandibuzz with a -1 Flare Blitz from this range, and I always have Coco to switch hard in, and I expect this turn, honestly, I expect him to roost, because if I stay in and I go for Flare Blitz, it's in his interest to roost to chip down my Mandibuzz, and I'm more than likely going to switch out into either Gliscor or my Coco here. And if he were to go for Foul Play, Coco isn't going to take too much from it. As you're going to see, he actually does opt to go for Foul Play. So he's going to leave his Mandy at about 82% if he does switch out here, which he does. So he's going to come in very weakened after Rocks. And this turn I am just going to go for the T-Bolt, weakening down this Amoonguss, as he reveals to be... I later find out he's like max defense with the Assault Vest, so pretty interesting Amoonguss set versus me. I'm going to go hard out into my Gliscor this turn, as he does make the switch out to Chomp. Pretty much what that covered was him staying in, obviously, because Gliscor walls it. But also, like, I want to keep my Coco around, because my Coco is one that can guarantee take out the Mandibuzz with the T-Bolt in electric terrain. And, you know, he'd shown a tendency to switch into Chomp to try and whittle down my Coco with Rough Skin and Life Orb. So I wasn't having that. I'm just going to go out into my Gliscor right here. And I am going to go for the EQ this turn, I believe, as he is going to go for his Stealth Rocks. And this turn, I still was pretty adamant that he was probably his Z Outrage, so I'm going to roost up as he does pop his Z Outrage here, so nice Gliscor. But he actually shows to be a Tectonic Rage, interestingly enough, so not sure why he opted to go Tectonic Rage here, when I feel like Z Outrage was a little bit better, but I guess for my Mega Scizor, that would have helped him break down my Mega Scizor, and he did have Hidden Power Ice on his Chomp, so... I guess that was his reasoning there, but I'm going to stay in here and fire for Toxic, as his Mandibuzz does reveal to be faster than me, and yeah, throw out a Taunt, which is going to stop my Gliscor in its tracks, which is really nice prep. I was running quite a bit of speed on my Gliscor, but he showed to be like very fast on his Mandibuzz, which is important because this tells me that he's going to be running way less bulk, which is nice. So he's going to go for Foul Play here instead of roosting up, not sure why. But that's fine, I can live another Foul Play, but unfortunately he is going to crit me there, right? So what I did there was I U-turned into Coco that turn, because I undersped the Mandibuzz, and I'd just be able to start firing off T-Bolts. But unfortunately, because he does crit me there, my Sizzle's going to go down, and this kind of sucks. So I'm going to have to go into Big Darm here and click Fire Punch. So the reason I click Fire Punch over Flare Blitz is Fire Punch kills Amoonguss and Magearna. If he stays in with Mandibuzz, I've got him in a checkmate position, essentially here. If he switches, preserving Mandibuzz, which is the thing that checks Gliscor, which wins the game, as well as my, it also checks my my Snorlax with Taunt. If he stays in, he loses his Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz takes enough damage from Fire Punch to be in range of Rocks, and I force it out the following turn with my Tapu Koko. if he switches here, he loses Magearna, he loses Amoonguss, and then if Manabuzz is forced to come back in on rocks, he loses that because 25% down, Mandy is going to drop to the Fire Punch. So I've essentially won the game at this point, so he is going to stay in, and he is going to go for the Foul Play. So what he also could have done there was stayed in and gone for the Roost, expecting me to click Flare Blitz and for it somehow to not kill, even though it would have clearly dropped because that Fire Punch did 62 and Flare Blitz is considerably stronger. But he does stay in and Foul Play, which seals Manabuzz's fate, because now Coco will be able to either get a kill here or force it out, which is going to kill it next time it comes in. And obviously Manabuzz is his only form of removal, so yeah, this is really solid now. I am going to be able to just click Brave Bird versus this Amoonguss and actually take it out with my Coco's Life Orb Brave Bird, which is really nice. So now at this stage, the Gliscor is in a spot to win. If somehow Magearna can take on my Gliscor, then it will drop to my Snorlax's Earthquake. So yeah, very solid game versus Nova. This game was a lot closer than our first encounter, mainly because of the crits, I think. But I really do think he prepped well this game. I think Conk was the right bring. Really like placed on a lot of pressure early game, taking out my Toad. And the fast Taunt Manabuzz was a fantastic bring this game, as you saw, like kind of shutting down my Gliscor, which is the one that really put in work last game, and again put in such great work this game. So that's going to be my week 7 game against Nova. Good game, man. Hope you guys did enjoy. That's going to be it for week 7, and next week we face off against Maddie, so that should be a fun one. Haven't had a lot of time to build for draft lately because I've been playing World Cup, but I should be able to get back into the swing of that soon enough. So hopefully you guys did enjoy it. Drop a like if you did, and let me know in the comments what you thought of the match.